Hey Rachel, so I just wanted to quickly show you how to create assignments in Canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be creating the notebook checks that the facilitator collected last Friday. So I'm already in my course. I'm actually in the Earth Science course, but this all applies to any of the courses, middle school as well. I've selected my course from the dashboard, and you can see on the left hand side in the tabs the dark bolded text, the tabs, those are the ones that the students can actually see. The ones that are kind of grayed out and are very light in color, those are the ones that you can see and access, but the students can't. So I'm going to go to assignments. And this is actually your gradebook area. This is where you'll go to set up your weights for all of your classes per your gradebook. This is where you'll go to create those items, things like that. So notebook checks, I put them under formative, summative, formative. I have, goodness, a lot of stuff here. Final, midterm, and pretest. Pretest I've got at 0, midterm and final at 10%. Scroll back up. Formative 35, summative 45. So what you do is you pick the group that you want to add to. If you wanted to create a group, you would just click Add Group. But you click the plus sign, and this is where you'll select the assignment. So for notebook checks, I'm going to do just a plain assignment, but you can do a discussion, you can do a quiz. Your quiz is what you would use if you're creating something like a final exam or a module exam or a test. You would just use this quiz option. And I'll show you that again at some point because I've got to create some finals and I've got to create some scrimmages for this week. So assignments for the notebook check, title it. And it was Friday's date. Let me double check what that was. Friday's date was the 7th, 12/7. It was due Friday. The facilitator checked it Friday and he emailed me that list. I only make them worth 5 points. You can make them worth as many points as you want if you're doing notebook checks. If you're doing assignments or anything of that nature, of course, you can change that. And with quizzes, there's a different way to do that, but we'll get to that later. So notebook checks, I'm not having the students turn anything in, but if you were creating an assignment that you wanted to have something turned in, you would go right here where it says submission type, and you would select either online, well, you would select online. You can do text entry, in which they have a text entry box. You can do a file upload, which would be where they would submit their PDF files or their Word documents. Then you would come down. If you had groups, this is where you would change your groups. You have your due date here. If you didn't want them to access it until a certain point, you would change that. If you wanted to, I was going to say password protect it, but I think that's only with quizzes that you can password protect it. But if you wanted to password protect it, you would do this here as well. But for this, because it's a notebook check, the facilitator checked it, I leave it as no submission. It's worth 5 points. You can put in some sorts of a description if you want to. I did at the very beginning when I started doing these, but I don't do a description now because the students are aware of what's going on. But I do have a description. I do have a description in my announcements weekly about the notebook checks and what they are and what the expectation is. So I've got that set up. Save and publish. The students will now see this in their gradebook, but they won't be able to submit anything. And so what I would do is I would just go to grades, and I won't go to grades just to keep from showing anybody's grades, but you would go to grades and then just go down the column and enter the grade that was assigned or given to the student for their notebook check. So that's how you create an assignment. I hope that was helpful. If you wanted to add, let me just say this real quick too, because if you create an assignment and then you wanted to add it within the modules, it's the same concept. You would just go over to the plus sign and whichever module you wanted to add it to. Select assignment. If you had created a quiz, you would select a quiz. select assignment, and then find your assignment, select it, then click add, and then you could drag and drop wherever you wanted to place it in the module. Now, if you wanted to create a page, I'm sorry, I keep thinking of things that you need to be aware of. If you wanted to create a page as far as creating content, you would do that from the module section. So you would just click page, new page, title it, add it to the module, and then from the module you would select it and go in and make your edits. But we can do that at a later date. When I go in and do that, I'll make another recording to show you how to create a page and add content. So the purpose of this recording was just to show you how to create an assignment and get that in the gradebook and to show you a little bit about the gradebook. So I hope that's helpful. I hope I didn't confuse you. If you have any questions, of course, don't hesitate to reach out to me, and I'll make you some more recordings as we go and as I do things. Talk to you later. Bye.